A matchup you wouldn't believe is in the lower bracket. This could have been our grand final, and we are seeing this right now as our elimination match for this day. What is going on here?
Team Liquid just taking their time. Bizarra will contend with the first, and they've made sure to stay in control of this one. Not a player dropped.
Really giving anything is just going to swing off of Anya's contact. There she is, and she's so good with it.
Another flash connecting, but Isa finding shots, and Daiki lighting up the feed too. They have shut this down. Team Liquid, 13-8, take map number 1. Smoke fading, 2 on the other side, finds both shots! How the hell did she do that?
Gina, though, all the way down long while they flood into the site. Bizarra finds 3. The kills are there. It's a 4K for Bizarra, and Daiki finishes the job.
BBL doesn't even have to commit off this. The trade is instant. They know that more players are lurking on this site. BBL, double digits here on Haven. Bizarra isn't stunned. Bizarra is fighting, and she's got 2. Last one standing. Philippa is down. Team Liquid, this is their home. The lower bracket is their place. They keep the run going.
It's upper bracket final o'clock between defending champs G2 Gozen and revenge-hungry Shopify Rebellion. Welcome back to Game Changers Championship 2023. A year in the making, a year of waiting, and maybe this could even be a little preview of the finals that are to come. I'm Jeannie, your host, joined on the desk with Kakuka, and our very special guest today, Bazooka. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure. I'm very happy to be here.
Okay, what are you thinking of the tournament so far? Any surprises? Any dark horses that are making a run that you didn't expect?
I mean, Team Liquid just won, so I'm happy from my scene, from my country. It was a pretty tough match, but the whole tournament's amazing so far.
I think we just need to keep bringing guests, because we have Murias, now we have you, and Team Liquid is doing better. So
yeah,
just saying.
You guys are helping out. But you know what? We couldn't actually have written a better story. So Mel is back to right the wrongs of last year. Looking at this clip specifically from the Game Changers promos, just to have a little bit of an insight on what she's thinking.
I have a lot of regrets about last year's Game Changers. There's so many moments I wish could have gone differently. I made a lot of mistakes. This year, my confidence comes from within. My team and the people I care about think I've learned from my mistakes. This year, it's Mel against the world.
Mel against the world, Kukuka.
I'm not mad at it. I mean, I kind of hate the amount of pressure that she puts on herself. But listen, many people is the way that they work. She feels like last year it should have been different, and probably most people were to think that way. That Cloud9 Wide was going to be, the winner of the tournament, and actually doing it in a fashion that maybe we're seeing this year from Shopify Rebellion. Maybe all of that pressure actually was worth something.
Yeah, exactly. We're also looking at what happened last year, as you already touched upon. Cloud9 White was coming in as the favorite. But you know what, Bazooka, G2 goes and happened, and it feels like there's a rematch that we've all been waiting for.
Yeah, this match is gonna be crazy. I'm very excited to see it, and the way that Mel evolved from last year to this year, the new EGL she became, and how she turned herself into that big leader from North America scene. It's just amazing.
You know what else is really amazing, Kuka, is the map scores that we've been seeing from
out.
Shopify Rebellion, because they're testing if we can actually count to 10.
Yes.
I think.
Yeah, definitely. So if we keep going on this track, of course, we're seeing what happened against EDG, and then the day after, so yesterday against BBL, 13-1, 13-2, 13-3, 13-4. So according to this and the script that they themselves are writing, today it should be a 13-5 and 13-6.
Yeah.
So at least,
Makes sense.
So it's very complicated, because when we sit here and we're trying to do a recap of all of the things that surprised us and what we can expect about teams, and for Shopify, it's so complicated because they've been so dominant. We can only have good words for them. We cannot be like, oh yeah, but this one, maybe they got a little bit too comfortable. I mean, it's a 13-2. Of course, they were very comfortable. If they're out to make a very small mistake, you cannot really account for it.
Yeah, and Shopify has been doing incredibly well, but just to hear from what they're feeling in terms of the upcoming match, let's send it over to Insu, who's ready with Sarah.
Arrived here in the arena, and I got Sarah here to have a quick word. Now, it feels like nobody could beat you, or let alone get more than 5 rounds against you right now. Why do you think you guys have been so dominant?
Honestly, I think a lot of it is Effie's. He's such an experienced player, and he's been incredible the whole time we've had him. I'm really, really grateful for him. But also Mel, she's been calling incredibly. Really just my team. They're all amazing.
Well, the fans are very excited to see you guys play. Good luck today, and I hope your domination continues.
Domination from Shopify has been incredible, to say the least. I mean, this entirety of the year already. And then in all aspects, there is no denying the fact that their snowballing off of the pistol rounds bazooka has just been so scary for any team that's going to be going up against them.
Yeah, the win rate that they have on pistol rounds and the way they're approaching those rounds are just amazing. We can see they have a plan for every pistol round they're playing, sometimes even having one side retake and just making a bait play on their side. And they were just having the perfect reads, the perfect reactions. And when you win the pistol round, it can just snowball a lot for your team, because you're going to be farming a lot of orbs for your mates. You're going to be farming money for the future rounds. And the way the pistol rounds are played right now in VALORANT, Shopify is just dominating.
And even more important, yesterday, for example, against BBL on that last map, they weren't able to get that pistol round, but they were never letting them convert that second round. So, of course, it's not only worrying about your economy, but also the rival's economy.
Yeah, that's something to keep you on your toes for sure, especially when we're looking at their pistol rounds. And as you already mentioned, a lot of prep goes into those, but also a lot of preps in general in the rounds that we've seen from them. But as much as it's the players, we've heard it time and time again, Kuka, we've heard it in every single interview. Effies, thank you so much for doing what you've done for Shopify.
I think it's so important, and I think that it's definitely one of the reasons why they're performing so good. I love that people are getting to understand this. All the growth that we are seeing in the team also comes from the staff, and I think that Effies is doing a brilliant job. And if we put it face to face and head to head against Carcas, that has been with the G2 for 2 years now, definitely Carcas was the one having this effect last year, and it was bringing us a lot of surprises, and it's probably behind some of the bigger changes that we have seen in G2. So I think this is one of the most important head-to-heads that we're seeing today.
Yeah, definitely. And they're going to have a big problem today, because we're going to pick against Shopify. They are just dominating against every adversary in every map.
Yeah, but for example, right, on the same level, we have seen that they've come very well prepared. How are you going to prepare against the G2 that is changing everything for this tournament? I think that this is the two biggest brains going up against each other.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely something to pick apart a little later on, because I think as well something that we're really looking forward to is the rematch. Last time around, Mel played against Mimi, but this time Mimi is also going to be on the IGL. So this is really scary to see.
Yeah, it's of course it's crazy. This is, I believe, just the stats from this tournament, but it's lovely to see that Mimi's still up there. Of course, the KDA for Mel is out of this world, but it's also very important. Like, for example, she's never going to be the one going for that first duel, and she's aware of everything that she's trying to put into work. So it's different profiles, but definitely another very important head-to-head for today.
And something that's important as well is, like, when her team is killing, she doesn't have a role there.
Exactly.
Like, she's going to be the GL. She's going to be giving the calls for the team, but she's going to be the one less in the clutch, because there are no clutches in the game. The game's so far in the front, you know?
What exactly makes Mel such a good IGL? What do you think is going on that has allowed her to, as you mentioned already, take up all this information and then be able to relay that to the team and set them up for success?
I think that the experience she got last year is definitely something that helps her out, because sometimes you may not even have the best idea for the round, but if you give this call for your team with confidence and showing them how to do it during the round and just be able to adapt during the game, that's what's win you matches. That's what wins you tournaments.
I mean, I think it's also a little bit that she's a perfectionist, and I think she's humble in that sense. You know, sometimes this pressure that she puts on herself that we can see, she's also very honest about it. She's like, I want to be the best. I know that if I work, I have the people around me that is going to help me get to this position. And from knowing her personally, I think that she is, you know, grateful to have the people that she has around, and she feels good about the improvements that she's made.
Yeah, improvements that have definitely been made, but I think as well as we already touched upon a little bit, when it comes to G2, improvements have been made and changes have been made. So ahead of this matchup, let's head back down to Yinsu, who's standing by with G2 Roxy.
G2 Gozen, they're here for to look for their second back-to-back final. But Roxy, your story was very different last year when you were here. You were no stranger to Mel and Alexis. They actually knocked you out in Berlin. So how do you plan to get your revenge today?
I mean, this year's going to be different because obviously they have a different team and I'm also in a different team, completely different team environment. And this year we prepared very differently. We prepared very much better. So, and I hope it will just show on the server.
Oh, I can't wait to see it. Good luck today.
Different team, different prep, same thing for Shopify Rebellion. That's something that we have to keep in mind and something we already touched upon a little bit when it comes to continuously having to prep for something that you don't really know what they're going to be throwing at you.
Yeah, exactly. I think that, as we're saying, it's so important that probably this is the match that we're going to be seeing in the finals. And I think that people want to see it twice because, of course, when we talk about the preparation, it's okay, but this is not just, you know, there's not only one round. There's a chance that, you know, you get hungry for more.
Absolutely, and that revenge arc just keep coming back. But coming into this event as well, I don't think anyone really expected to see Petra and a Fluorescent Jet duel, especially considering here, Bazooka, that Petra's Jet debut was literally 2 days ago. But I mean, here we are, looking at these numbers, it's crazy to say the least.
Yeah, there's one specific round that comes to my mind about Petra, the Sheriff round on Haven, on the Pista round. That round was just amazing.
This is pretty.
And she was just... She was just wrecking everyone. She was just playing freely in the map and doing whatever she wanted to do.
Yeah, and of course, like, the stats are going to be different between the two of them because, of course, you know, Petra has at least lost a game, Fluorescent has lost 10 rounds.
Yeah,
you know,
wow.
It's going to be very, very difficult. But we need to understand why is Petra on that Jet. It's not only about the roll swap, it's also about the versatility that having someone going on that operator, on that different duelist, is going to bring you from within the game. And she is willing to take all those risks. And the same way that we can speak for Mel in the case of Shopify Rebellion, we can say for Petra that she has done anything and everything that has been in her power to be useful to the team.
And, you know, useful is an understatement. I think she's been extraordinarily and a great addition in terms of that role swap. And, you know, we're sitting here and we're super hype about Petra and we're talking like, oh my god, this has been going incredible. But I really wonder what the atmosphere sounds like within G2 when they see some of these plays pop up. And I'm pretty sure you guys at home are wondering the same. So we have a G2 open mic, so let's tune in. And this was against Team Liquid in a Sony and Zone open mic.
Tô. Satcheling. Deixa eu pegar.
Ô, Bastarda, volta lá pra A e redominar A. Joga em dupla com a Isabelle lá na, vamos ficar safe.
Tá, esse é a cachoeira.
See above it? Chicken cross, I think. Not sure. She has no fuel right now. Yeah.
They have raised ult.
Yeah.
That.
I'm going A, I'm going A.
I can rotate. I will rotate.
No more, no more, no more.
Okay, I stay.
I'm not going.
Tem no bomb, no bomb.
Manda bomb.
One on B, guys.
One can be for you.
Yeah, go.
Flash
She's out, she's out.
Could be out, could be out.
No doubt, Sarah.
Okay.
Take it again, take it again.
Eles param mais a gente, daí. Acho que não vai dar pra jogar aqui.
Uma cara lá atrás, vou tentar pegar uma kill.
Tá, pera.
Viper.
Abri a esquerda, peguei.
Ela vai pra Viper, entrou nela.
Tá, não consigo passar, Daik. Não deu pra passar, tá
Tá
salvo.
sozinha, Daik.
Tá, tá com veneno aqui, não deu pra passar.
Esmacar só cachoeira.
Vou passar agora, vem, Jô.
I'm leaving sight, I'm giving. Vamos, 2. Cachoeira, tem um.
Tá, molei CT.
Mesma cor.
Tá.
Tem fechado.
Você tem after, Jô?
Tenho bang
eu tenho puxão.
Cura pra você. Dá a cara pra mim?
Dou. Eu vou jogar bomba com você, vida.
Não tem nada.
Tem um bang em 5.
Tá, banga uma que a gente abre CT depois.
Eu tenho bang em 2.
Faz tempo pra mim, tá? Pro puxão. Eu vou ter smoke.
Tô virando sua direita, Daik.
Vira.
Vai.
Cachoeira.
Homem tá lá. Homem vai por CT. Virei. Eu 2 CT.
Default.
Ching. 110. 110.
E water. 2 bomb e cachoeira.
Water, that's 10.
Right side, stop.
120.
Yes! Wow, that was not close, right?
No, I don't know. We're chilling.
Good job, guys.
Nah, not even close, right? Absolutely not. But you know what? One consistent factor, though, that we can see from G2 is that they will always try and throw a spanner in the works. So this then, to me, brings the question, in regards to preparation for that map veto, how would you approach it?
Yeah, that's a very tough situation for them because G2 have big bind and they lost their pick on the game against SMG. And they have already picked Sunset against Liquid, and Sunset's a map that Shopify just destroyed the enemy team. So what we're gonna pick? I'm gonna pick a map from Shopify that I don't have any information about.
Yeah, everything's going to be a little bit of a wild pick, but I think that it follows, you know, what G2 has been doing during the tournament. It's like I buy Bind, then I pick Sunset out of the blue with all of these changes, and now I'm going to pick Bind. I think that they're playing into that surprise factor that they're going to need today.
Yeah, and with that, we have the coaches ready who are finally going to solve this riddle for us. So let's head over to the map selection to see exactly where this revenge arc will be taking place.
Okay, so we're starting map selection process. This is upper finals. This is a coin toss. The coin toss is considering alphabetical order on the teams. So G2 is heads and SR is tails. Okay, so again, the front of it is heads, the back of it is tails. So it's tails. So SR starts choosing if wants to be team A or team B.
We pick team B.
SR team B. G2 team A. So G2 starts banning a map.
We ban Haven.
Haven, ban for SR.
We ban Split.
Split. Map pick for G2.
Pick Breeze.
Breeze, side on Breeze for SR.
We pick Attack.
Attack, okay. Map pick for SR.
We pick Ascent.
Ascent, okay. Side on Ascent for G2.
Defense.
Defense. Next set of bans is G2 starts. Bind Lotus or Sunset.
Ban Lotus.
Lotus. Less ban for SR. You have Bind or Sunset.
Ban Bind.
Sorry?
Ban Bind.
Ban, sorry?
Bind.
Bind, okay, bind. So the decider is Sunset, side on Sunset for G2.
Defense.
Defense, okay, that's it. Good luck, have fun.
Breeze, Ascent, and Sunset. The battle is set. I mean, first one?
Hear me out.
All right, I'm
History
listening.
is always in the making with these teams, but for them, this match is actually way more personal than that, just because of what happened last year. Now, G2 going on the chase for that Breeze, it's unreal. As you're saying, the first of the tournament, we were talking about literally every single team preferring Sunset over Breeze. We have the chance of seeing both of them in this best of three.
I like it. I like it very, very much. You should pick because neither of teams have information about Breeze on each other. So it's all gonna be on now about how they're gonna adapt about G2 plan. Because if you should pick Breeze, they have a plan for that.
Yeah, exactly. And when we're talking about, you know, the plans that you're mentioning, we do know that for G2 it has been a long time. They did play in Red Bull against Heretics. It was a 13-0, so let's just forget about that.
It was a warm-up.
Of course, it was a warm-up. And also this role swap hadn't happened yet. So surprises that we can expect from that team. And of course, it's been a year since they played it last time, let's say, especially in Game Changers. Now, obviously, for Shopify, the idea is very, very different. And I think we might see some surprises in the picks.
Interesting.
When we're looking at the agents specifically for Breeze, that's kind of what I want to start up on, because we've seen Petra on the Raze, we've seen her on the Jet. Are we expecting more traditional? Are we expecting? Do you think we're gonna get
listen,
Yoru?
I'm seeing this bingo card that was the baby paint left here, and it says Yoru pick, and I don't know why.
I know you want to win the bingo, but Bazooka, is it realistic here?
I mean, there's some ways you can make your works on Breeze, but the main thing is about what you're gonna leave behind. Because okay, I'm gonna leave my Jet behind for the Yoru. Like the dash is very strong. The way, like even Petra playing Jet, the amount of rounds she was able to just close up the map and just have the team making the rotation for the other side while she was strong on one side to get information really further away. That's something that just Jet can do. Yoru can do that easily.
Yeah, exactly. And we also need to think about the more supportive roles. Like, what is going to happen with the smokes? Do we expect some Harbor, Viper, Omen? There's so many things that you can still play on this Breeze, and that I think will be very determinant.
Yeah, and with the power vested in me, with Prime Gaming Agent Select, we're going to be having a look indeed. And very identical comps coming through from both of these teams.
It had been a year.
Nothing changes. History repeats itself here.
I mean, Cypher is a bit different, you know, a little bit stronger. I think I like it.
Yeah, that's the default comp on Breeze since last Champions before the change on the map. And the big difference here is that like now the Cypher can use both triple wires for himself if you want to defend a B side, for example. And that's where it makes KO even more important.
Well, it's the rematch that we have waited for a whole year to see. The redemption arc for Shopify Rebellion starts here, but so does the battle for G2 to hold on to their crown. Vansili and Potter, you two ready?
We are definitely ready for the rematch of the year indeed. Now we have Shopify versus, you know, G2, and this is also a series that they faced off against each other last year. So we're seeing Breeze again, we're seeing Ascent again. So I feel like for both of these teams, Potter, they just want to get that revenge no matter what.
Yeah, I think that's a good point because like you say, both squads are very familiar. The compositions coming out is that old school comp, right? Before those Breeze map changes came in as well. So both squads absolutely have a good idea of what this game plan is going to be. And I want to touch on what Bazooka mentioned about these Cypher trips. The fact that Cypher can now be a lot more just greedy. You don't have to be that info sentinel. You can go for frags, absolutely. So looking straight at these two anchors, but Shopify, they're not slowing down. They've got full mid control here.
Going for kills are actually Shopify Rebellion. Looking for a mid to be split. The walls are coming up from Mel, playing as this Viper, but the crossfire is just too good for G2 to start. Beautiful to allow Noya to finally stop the bleeding a bit. The spike's down out of the open though.
It is. Mimi's got a deep line, and that's a beautiful shot. A lot of damage onto the back of Sarah here. It's gonna have to come down to Noya. Sarah does have a recon dart. Hopefully is gonna be able to use it as some sort of crosshair displacement to tee up Noya here, but
last player standing.
Nice opportunity, nice attempt. Sarah is pretty much pinned right there. Noya had to make the move towards spawn. Missing that fight earlier on versus Glance, but now they're just going across the arches, and Noya's able to win that fight. 2 versus 1, and you see Noya already pivoting towards this A site.
yeah, she's gonna beat the defenders at that A, but on this crossing, as she's passing that yellow, Kale's gonna get that line, so
30 seconds
this is fast. G2 are reacting quick.
Knife was out, managed to escape for a bit, but as soon as she crosses on the other side of Orange, though, Mimi starts things off for G2.
Such aggressive moves coming out here for Shopify, and I get it, right? You saw that Mel holding on to that Viper wand, using it at the last minute as soon as they got that connector control. So that B split, it looked good, but G2, their crossfire, I mean, this little emo spot is just such a strong position when you have a Cypher back site. G2 just playing those crossfires very well, and it's a nice shot.
Yeah, from a camera to a bait and switch, tucking tight within that area. It's kind of looking like Sunset in that new little cubby that comes in towards that B site. But for this round, when you have a lower buy for Shopify Rebellion, they invested into a Marshall. Noia's already pushing up towards the arches and lands a nice shot there onto Petra. Surprisingly, that missed, but that's a great opportunity for Shopify Rebellion to start their eco.
Yeah, you can't afford to be missing those. Great punish. And even Fluorescent has a Marshall on her back. Trying to find these long-range jewels. Just trying to pop off some damage.
Everybody's just winning behind her. But it's
Not
Mimi
scoped.
towards the top of the door. ADS is down with the Guardian. And that makes Shopify Rebellion throw a little bit of a utility. But once again, trying to leverage Noia on the lurk. Isolating the 1v1 long range, but Roxy is just waiting towards the back of the pillar. So no opportunities here for Shopify Rebellion to really try to gain some map control. So they're all still staying grouped. They have to walk again and not give their positions away.
Yeah, trying to catch some sort of timing here, get lucky, but G2 are playing this well, keeping those long ranges as much as possible, keeping those deep lines to really maximize on these weaponries.
30 seconds left.
Slicing the A site. 3 players are going to face off Orange in the back of the site. Finally, it swings out, and a great opportunity to capitalize for Shopify Rebellion. 20 seconds left on the clock, moving towards the back of the pyramid, and safely will plant the spike because of the wall coming back up from Mel.
Yeah, look at how much utility both these players have. Mel can quickly set up in a post, use her wall to be able to recharge that gas and maybe make it back into A main here.
Started off already. Lance just looking to maybe do some recon, throwing it towards the back of the site. Roxy's also closing in.
Yeah, and they weren't able to actually plant for A main, so Shopify decided to fight.
The ball's down, double flash, 1-for-1, but Roxy turns around. And that could have been a great round for Shopify, but Roxy continues to be really good in the clutch. And G2, close, but they still get the second round.
No cigar, Vans, no cigar. But you're right, it was so close. It came down to that sound cue of the flash. You saw Shopify, Mel, she started staring into the wall. She wanted that flashbang to come through, but just the timings are insane. As soon as she turns around, Cypher's already in her face. But what an eco coming out here for Shopify, just working the map, and Noia has just been so deadly every single day, almost looking like she's better than the last, which is crazy to say out loud, but beautiful opening for Noia, but a good response here for G2.
And a good start for Shopify Rebellion. Look at the bonus run that G2 has to work with. Only that Bulldog that Roxy had on that previous round. Even a recon dart this time around, spotting 2 as the rest of G2 are only with Sheriffs. First contact, won by Mel. Easily done. Roxy has to fall back.
Yeah, a little bit late on that fallback. You saw that dart getting so much value for Shopify, so much information, and they're not slowing down. The aggression is on. They know they had the advantage.
Utility is so great. One player still stuck towards the doors while the rest are pushing in. Hats now being thrown out. There's that creep up, but rotate from Mimi, stopped by Sarah. The advantage is for SR. A 4, make that a 3 versus 1. As Sarah's the last one remaining. I like that her name is Sarah too for G2, so let's keep it like that, because we are having a Sarah versus Sarah in this matchup.
It would have been awesome if the spelling was with an H and without. Be like Sarah H against Sarah A. But, oh, we have Sarah too, though.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That'll work. That'll work.
That.
And Sarah too just got spotted there by the recon dart. So trying to chase after the kill against Sarah. She loses the mirror match.
Yeah, Sarah is better than Sarah too. The OG, the original, some would say. But yeah, a great response coming out here for Shopify. Yeah, it was G2's bonus. You saw that they were only holding on to those Sheriffs. Now we've got the operator in Petra's hands. They got caught last time with that dart flash combo coming out for Shopify, so expect G2 to do something about that dart, but they absolutely want to set up Petra here to find some sort of opening, and you can see KO is right on her heels. They're looking for a quick mid opening here.
Flash to counter back, depending on what utility is being thrown. There's a dash already activated, but Sarah was looking back towards the spawn. She was expecting for a flash to come out from the defender's side, and that actually she got caught for that. And now Shopify Rebellion are going to have less to work with when they want to execute within this B site. Recon dart being super important here.
Yeah, Shopify have been getting caught out on this line of sight, so they're completely aware of that.
Grounded.
Oh, what a huge pick for Petra.
They're really rotating her across the map. So the first pick there towards the double doors goes back towards the nest. A second one through. So now Shopify Rebellion learning as the rounds continue to dwindle throughout this first half that they have to keep an eye out for this offer.
Yeah, and you can see that Noia can't really take any more space because of how wide open that mid is. Mel's still holding on to this wall, and that sort of lack of information usually would keep the defenders guessing, but the fact that they're down so many numbers, they can maintain that strong side and maintain those numbers towards here at A. Shopify, they've got to find a pick here, Dan.
30 seconds left.
When this wall comes up, probably the defender's one's going to come up as well. Utility still stops them. Noya still waiting for the late lurk. The off is out. The third one within the round for Petra. In her role as this Jet, has been picking up the pace and working this agent quite well. As the walls come down with 13 seconds left. Unfortunately, no ground gained for Shopify Rebellion. As even it turns out to be a prime gaming flawless for G2 early in this half.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned Petra because, you know, we were so shocked on that first day when she did bust out this duelist role and that operator. But man, ever since, she's been warming up into it. That one round where she just ride or die dove in to break that Killjoy ultimate for her entire team. That's sort of a sacrifice that you're willing to do for your teammates. It absolutely comes back around and scratches your own back. So Petra being fantastic, finding those opening kills, and she's completely ruined Shopify's money. I mean, they're going to be able to get a couple Guardians and a couple upgraded pistols, but not the full buy that they were certainly looking for here.
We got some traps being laid out within the site. Shot, big flash. Petra forced to fall back, but out in the open. Fluorescent's the one that's able to get the pick. Roxy still holding within around the cages. Couldn't get that kill onto her opponent as Alexis comes in for the trade. Advantage for Shopify Rebellion as they move in and are still waiting for a plant. They are in a position to do it, but they just push out early. Now the pit's going to confirm the spike going down.
Let's see if Sarah too sniffs out Sarah, but no, Sarah's in such a ratty little angle below that window.
Spike planted.
Was such a broken
HP.
buy.
Got the information on Mimi, who throws a fragment within right at the feet of Mel. That does a lot of damage through.
Player standing.
Sarah still playing towards the long B. Nice swing out from Alexis in the end from the pit. A trade-off here. You talked about a Laura buy. It's not a thrifty, but it was good enough to do that damage, take the site, and get the round for Shopify.
Absolutely. Absolutely good enough for sure. Definitely satisfied if you're with that one. I mean, this flash coming out here, it was just insane. I didn't even hear it coming at all, and I don't think Petra did either, so I think it was just one of those chunked it over the wall, and Alexis absolutely catches Petra there, and that's just a freebie. A freebie for Shopify to get that site open. Hunter's Fury now here for Sarah as well on the attack side.
Four on the other end for G2. An opportunity to fight right back and really break the economy from Shopify Rebellion once again, who are slowly nearly towards his B-side. Petra winning just behind, gets the first pick, but Fluorescent moves in for that trade. Now the Hunter's Fury trying to ping some players. Couldn't connect into anything towards the A side, but the commitment towards B is there, and Roxy's just once again having to hold the site on B by herself. Cages are now finally down. An opportunity for Shopify to move in, and they're creeping around the site. They're trying to close into Roxy. Beautiful recon dart coming through, though. That's going to allow the Glance to come out with the Hunter's Fury. There's that wraparound towards the back of the pillar as Roxy's going to fall, but not until Glance also gets a Hunter's Fury kill onto Noya. A 3 versus 3, Plant goes down, and finally the rotate comes in.
And Mimi is on that flank. She's got full kit, full utility on her back, but Sarah is just in a better angle. Completely wipes out Mimi and just down to Glance and Sarah now. Gotta find some picks. That's good information, but Shopify, look how they're reacting. They're responding. Just gonna fall back and just waste time.
Both of them were spotted there towards the arches, and Sarah continues to be the one watching the flanks, watching the rotations. I mean, if you're looking in these post-plant situations here, Potter, we've always mentioned Sarah from Shopify Rebellion, those picks that she's getting on these aggressive flanks coming out from G2 quite early.
Yeah, and this was a good response coming out here for G2 because the other Sarah, well, really Glance, really made it right in the nick of time. You saw that drone coming out. She got the tag, provided that Hunter's Fury, and that really opened up the field for Roxy. Unfortunately, she didn't get that line for the window, gets taken out, and that's just how fast that B site falls. Once your Cypher location is found and known, I mean, it's up to Petra and it's up to the attackers to really fumble and collapse on him, and that's kind of what happened to Roxy there.
Lots of aggression for G2 this time around. You heard the Blade Storms coming out from Petra, and they want to once again re-aggress towards the control of elbow. Look at the jiggles coming out from Noya, though. It's getting pinged out. She hasn't really seen opponents yet, but she does have support all the way back from spawn. Players ADSing on the side of Shopify, and they also get the first blood. But there is that support coming through. Nice dagger from Petra on the top of the wall. It's going to land it right onto Mel, which gives G2 the advantage.
Yeah, Sarah's gonna use all the information that her teammates just gave over to her. That Cypher ult definitely puts a crux in her plan. Now she's gonna stop, and Petra's gonna go try to sniff her out and find her, but 3 players on the flank here. The fact that Sarah and Floor are pushing into spawn and really flipping the map once again here is... Give me the
It should have been good. It should have been good because it was planted for a spawn, but Petra once again aware of this push. Null Command now coming out on the attack for Alexis, not allowing utility to come through, but she falls unfortunately. So it's up to Fluorescent, star player. Players are low on HP, but gets instantly traded off there by Roxy as Glance falls, and G2 with the lower buy answers right back in. I think this is a great testament to what we're going to see this whole series.
Yeah.
A back and forth, potentially a 3 series, but no matter what, we'll see the MasterCard Thrifty.
Exactly, just swinging right back. And I like how it started. All 4 members of G2 really congregated towards these B tunnels, and look at Petra. As soon as Mimi gets that contact, as soon as the red dots start popping up on that mini-map, she updrafts and gets herself a freebie. That sort of synergy is beautiful, and of course it's Roxy to just close things out for G2. You mentioned it, Vans. I mean, ever since her birthday, she's had like this weird buff where she just doesn't lose clutches.
Yeah, in today's world, they kind of like to celebrate the birthday week.
Yeah.
So Roxy continues to prove that she is a pivotal pillar pretty much for G2 on the site anchor holds and also on these retakes. But this time around, you saw that the Thrifty came out for G2, but Shopify still has money to work with. So an all-out for Fluorescent. They're looking for the mid control once again.
Man, that's a good tag coming out here for Glance. Not only that, she was able to spot like 3 or 4 bodies in mid as well. So G2 have a really good idea of what Shopify are going to try to do into this round. Floor has knives, Vans. Knives and a sniper rifle in her hand. This
So does
sort of
Petra.
combo. Yeah. I mean, this is going to be... Oof.
No daggers, but the op is good. Unfortunately, it does not connect onto Fluorescent, but it connects onto Mel. So that's no wall right now for Shopify for their site take.
That's going to hurt. That's definitely going to hurt. They do still have Noya's single cage, but actually she just used it to block off that mid line of sight. And that's a good trade, at least for Sarah. That was everything.
Sarah 2 is putting the Viper, the snake bite right on the ground just to slow down SR's attempt to capitalize on that trade to try to push towards the A site. And now it stops. The Molly is gone. The utility is being pushed in, and Glance is holding by the staircase. Spotted right now by Sarah, who now inches forward, back towards the rail, in front of Orange. Fluorescent's there just to bait out the kill. But the spike once again falls with 17 seconds left on the clock. It's now picked up by Fluorescent. They're going to play just on the outside of the Viper's pit, maybe trying to push in and try to get the pick. And we're jumping across. Sarah running out of bullets, but still just good enough to get the pick onto Sarah. 5 seconds left on the clock. The right-click classic, and now the tap on the spike. Petra's there out in the open. Fluorescent was just trying to get that spike down for a chance to win. But G2, they get it in the end.
What a response coming out here for Sarah. And that, she was clenched that entire time. The fact that she drops that Viper's Pit as Sarah is hunting her down around that crab pillar. But what a beautiful opening once again here for Petra. She's just, again, been warming up, and she's not missing any of these shots.
One enemy remaining.
Completely controlling that connector, and man, you feel for Shopify there. They did everything they could. Sarah was trying to get that aggro while Floor was jumping around with the classic, trying to get that spike down, but G2, they're responding well, using the stopping power. You saw Sarah too, busting out those mollies, using that orb, and again, just using that stopping power to waste Shopify's time. They only had like 3 seconds left in that round before they could even tap the spike.
Yeah, speaking of timeout, or time rather, it's a timeout called by Shopify Rebellion, and I do want to emphasize on what you were just talking about from Sarah 2 with the utility she's using towards the A site. Roxy's also doing the same thing towards B. So they have great players and great agents to do that stalling and stopping power if the one at the forefront being Mimi at the doorway or Petra wherever she's opting. If they fall, the other two anchoring the sites are doing so good to hold it back.
They are. And this round, after this timeout, you know Mel and Effie's are cooking up an insane strat. But on the other side, G2 Mimi, she's got the exact counter for Floor. You can expect Mimi to be holding on to that knife and also ready to pop this ultimate as soon as they get contact or as soon as Fluorescent tries to take any ground with those knives. So we'll see how those clever plays come out, because we've seen these mind games before in moments just like this.
They're investing Fluorescent with a Vandal first. So if they get the pick, that's definitely the juggle utility and a nice out. And they're just looking for that pressure towards the A side. There's that updraft, and catches her in the air. The Flamestar comes out, and Roxy has a beautiful kill trip to stop the plans of what Shopify had towards this B site. Null command now coming out too, just to not allow Shopify to get any utility in the B site to trade. They have to fall back.
What a counter. What a counter coming out here for G2. Didn't even get to shoot a single bullet is Fluorescent before she gets taken out. And all three members of Shopify, they have no choice but to just stay grouped. Sarah has a drone, so maybe she can drop that Guardian over to her teammate, try to find an entry tag, and punish. But look, 3 defenders still on this B site for G2.
Even that Vandal's far out of reach, just at the entrance of that B site. That's what the strongest weapon they invested in right now, so they have to count on Sarah trying to get the entry. There's a knife that's going to stop the utility for a bit. Beautiful wall bang to start things off for Shopify Rebellion. That now initiates Shopify Rebellion's push towards the site. All 3 of them towards the ladder. Nice headshot up the Sheriff from Alexis, evening up the tally. Glass is turned around the corner, drops the spike carrier, and also Mel on a spray transfer. And it's up to Sarah once again with the Guardian, still inching towards the back of the site. Sarah 2's just around the corner, jump spots her, and now it's the lineup for 2, almost there, but Petra with the reaction trades it off. But there was a chance there for Shopify to bring it back.
There was, until Glance showed up. I mean, I thought for sure Shopify did enough there. Alexis Deagle just whipping out, getting that one tap, but Glance shows up and she says she's had enough. Wipes out the 2, and even the timing in this ring around the rosy sequence that happened between Sarah 2 and Sarah 1 there was incredible. But yeah, G2, you can see why they wanted to pick this map coming into this series as the first.
And that's the first time they ran into that trap that was placed by Roxy. So still, Shopify Rebellion, all they have to do is continue to try to learn how G2 is currently playing. So really, on the tip of their toes every single time G2 has full control, especially with the first blood that Petra just got into Fluorescent.
Yeah, these first bloods are really making Mel's job difficult and all of Shopify's job difficult. You know, that flash dart combo that we saw just a few rounds ago that was able to get those pings. Maybe Shopify resort back to that, but Petra has had free reign on this map so far.
And that flash was so nice. Sarah wasn't ready for that one. Mimi just swings out the door and gets the pick. Mel on the other end. Time has been wasted enough for the wall to come down. Sarah 2 just around the corner. And they can't take her down. It's just Noya once again by herself. Can't really activate her lurks because her teammates are falling down towards the take of this A site. It's a full roster against her. Mimi's just waiting there, greeting her, and a second Prime Gaming Flawless comes in for G2.
Yeah, the Viper, Sarah 2, as you mentioned, just playing that role to perfection right now. Dancing around that crab pillar, not giving Shopify any fair fights.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we always commend Floor, we commend the individual prowess on the Shopify side, but if your opponents aren't giving you the kind of duels and the kind of shots that you want or that you're used to, definitely going to take you a little bit longer to warm up into this and figure out exactly how you want to approach the next few rounds.
And as we're calling the masterclass calling from Mel yesterday when they played against BBL, you got to give it to Mimi this time around too. She's really putting the players at the right place, where for Shopify Rebellion, once again, they're trying to have something with a lower buy, using their duelists at the forefront, trying to get a pick with this Guardian. But we're pushing just right out.
Yeah, and I like what they're doing here. You saw that Noya is being a little bit more aggro towards this B main. It looks like she's trying to find the Cypher trips, not gonna let Floor run into that trap again here. But they've already been taken out. I mean, it's Petra again. Just on those deep lines, finding whatever pick she wants here.
There was an owl drone that got a ping. The op shot missed from Petra. Reloading her bullets as Sarah catches her, but there's still Glance there to support. Alexis trying to come right out to support as well, but she's low on HP.
Spike down B.
And unfortunately, it just leaves Mel by her lonesome on a 4 versus 1. Nice ADS on the first one. The information's already there. The spike's out in the open. Saving grace as his wall is up, still in her favor. She could potentially still isolate the 1v1 there. Just got pinged out though by a recon dart, and she has to give it the sight. But an opportunity for a backstab.
Opportunity indeed, but G2, after they don't see anyone for a few seconds, that sort of spidey sense should start tingling, but Mel, only 4 bullets, fans.
Yeah, I mean, they were waiting for it the whole time. After realizing that the time has ticked down, oh, okay, she's got to have gone out of sight at that point. So they're looking back towards the elbow, look back towards the B main, and it's an easy pick in the end. And for a map here that G2 picking on Breeze was looking to be some sort of a comfort zone for Shopify Rebellion as well, but they are still in school. They're learning pretty much how G2 is currently playing round after round.
Writing those notes furiously right now as Effie's in the back room.
They're in attention.
Yeah, trying to figure that one out, but this is it.
That goes there.
Great ultimate on the board here for Sarah on the attack side, and
This is a nice spot.
it looks like they're going for that same play that they did the last time Sarah had ult. She's going to drone out A main as they take mid.
First change of pace. Fluorescence already initiated within the site. Aldrone coming out towards the A main. Trying to get the pick on the top there on Sonor's bridge. You got the tag onto Sarah too. And it will fall finally from Fluorescent pushing forward with the assist from the Hunter's Fury. Noya finally has an opportunity to activate her lurk. Gets the pick off onto Petra on the rotate. But Mimi is still alive at this doorway.
Yeah, and she's looking. She's hunting. That drone just spotted Mel, and the spike is on her back as well here. She's trying to recharge her gas so she can cross, but Mimi's not going to let it.
Thankfully, though, their neural theft thrown out by Noya. So they have the information on a 3. And as Mimi's trying to jump away, Sarah is waiting right there just by the railing. Recon dart to clear towards the back of their orange, allowing Noya to pick up the spike. 48 seconds left on the clock. Still plenty of time to work with here. And for them to just inch slowly, group back together for Shopify and get a plant. But it's a safe plant here. You can't really play it towards the outside A main. Counter neural theft out from Roxy. ADXing right away. And Sarah swings right out. Lance is now solo. Shock darts coming out towards the pyramid. Light damage onto Noya. They're just looking for the first contact, which will be Fluorescent, as Glance is walking forward. First pick onto Sarah. Noya then is coming right out. So beautiful discipline for Shopify Rebellion. They stop the bleeding at 8-4.
Yeah, and a huge way to do it as well. And hey, all it took was a drone tag, a Hunter's Fury, and a Fluorescent to get that entry. Not that hard, but G2 had a response consistently. But finally, Sarah gets tagged, and finally, Shopify are able to get a post-plant round on the board.
Enemy remaining.
Without you seeing lots of rounds coming through here for G2. Taking great control of the defense. We'll see if Shopify Rebellion could answer back. So with that, let's head down to the stage where Ba is standing with a former pro player, Isla.
E aí, gente bonita, eu tô aqui junto com a Isla e olha, ela que é um nome super conhecido do Game Changers brasileiro, a gente vai falar tanto em inglês quanto em português, fechado? Hey everyone, I'm here with Isla. She's a really well-known name around our Brazilian Game Changers. And now we're going to talk a little bit about the match. So I can see that you're using, yeah, of course, Liquid. But right now we have G2 and Shopify Rebellion. Are you rooting for someone?
Well, I kind of have a crush on someone, so yeah. I am. Let's go, G2. No, I'm just kidding, but if she's down, I'm down too.
Ok. Gente, eu perguntei pra ela, né, se ela tá torcendo pra alguém, afinal de contas ela tá trajada de Team Liquid, mas ela trouxe aqui uma torcida específica pra Roxy. Falou que é a crush dela e já tá oferecendo até beijo, né, Isla?
Tamo aqui?
Yeah, of course. Well, do you want to say something else?
Keep calm, do the L.
That's perfect. Ok, yeah, let's do the L. Ela disse pra fazer o L, então é isso, meus amores. É com vocês. See ya!
Thank you very much, Ba. And indeed, now we have a chance to have G2 take the helm. I mean, they've been controlling the defensive half with the positioning from Petra, on the op. But this time, with the way that they're playing, I feel like they're going to set the pace too on the attack. Shopify Rebellion, they have to try to react and try to fight back quickly here.
Yeah. But I think that's the key word, Vans, is the react portion of it, right? We're swapping sides, and now Fluorescent is going to have a little bit of breathing room. I usually say swapping to attack, you get to control the pace, but Breeze, it's just a funky map. You don't have a lot of options on the attack side. I mean, especially with the changes in halls, especially with the changes in mid, this is an Opper's playground on the defense. We just saw that for Petra. So I'm expecting the exact same thing as we swap sides here for Fluorescent, and we got to highlight Noya. She's been that raid boss for the past 2 series. So now this is her time to shine on those defenses.
It almost looks like she's the one at the point, already walking down towards the middle behind the pillar. Spraying through the poison orb as the rest of G2 are just rolling forward towards the A site. Trying to answer back. Roxy now is playing the responsibility of what Noya was doing. Now on the backstep, though, it works out for Shopify. Snakebite does get the kill onto Fluorescent. Oh, a nice dink out from Petra onto Mel, too. But lower are the HP of Shopify Rebellion as the action slows down. And look at that rotate going all the way back towards the B for the plant is Mimi.
Mimi, she's going so fast over there. She's going to meet up with Petra. She knows the entire site is clear. But Sarah, too, getting picked there, that's going to hurt.
That trip just got broken. And they still need to find out where Petra's currently hiding for Shopify Rebellion.
Yeah, and Shopify, because they're so low, they're all sticking together. That knife catching only one player, that's going to confuse Petra.
And all they got to do is just hold back, wait for the other angles. Petra gets a nice first pick there from the arches all the way towards Noya. Now the knife's being thrown. They spot the player towards the back of the site, especially with that recon dart. So it's a 2 versus 2. But again, the health advantage is coming out for G2. Remaining. Petra's still playing around the pillar. And unfortunately here, the shots are not hitting for Sarah. And G2, they get the second pistol.
And that looked easy. That looked clean. But the beginning of it could have been a disaster. I mean, I don't know how Noya's shots, I think she shot like 24 ghost bullets through that mid. None of them landed. It's just unlucky, especially because that choke point is so narrow and so small. And look at Petra here, just wiping out Mel there on the stairs with a beautiful gush as well. So dominant coming out here for Petra.
They are definitely hyping each other up there just behind their positions, supporting each other too throughout this lead that they're currently holding against Shopify Rebellion. G2, understanding the lower buy that we have for Shopify Rebellion, has a very passive setup. 3 of them all the way back towards the spawn. 1 trying to find information towards the shop, but the camera's watching mid. For Shopify Rebellion though, they want a gamble stack. They have 4 players within this A site. A solo play towards B that watches up towards the nest and front B.
And I really like what Petra's doing right now. She's holding and maintaining that line of sight deep on that B, trying to catch anyone that tries to early rotate to help their A site players. You saw that G2, they wasted a drone towards there to get even more information, but because Petra saw no one, they're all regrouping back with her.
Shopify Rebellion are trying to push forward. The trip is going to spot the 2 players rotating across, at least one of them being Sarah, but she's supported by Mel. Noya just got suppressed. Marshall shot missed, and unfortunately the other shots do not connect either.
Petra is such a beast. Such a beast. She noticed that her teammate was right on her heels, so even though she missed, she just wide swings to get and tee up her teammate. Beautiful mechanics coming out here for G2.
G2 can't even get anywhere. They can't even get through the tunnel. Trying to open up the B main at least, but there's 2 players on the high-low. That's Glance and Roxy. It becomes 2 easy Bulldog kills, putting Glance halfway through a Hunter's Fury as they take the lead 10-4. This is going to start hurting Shopify Rebellion in the long run.
It is, and especially because Shopify weren't able to secure that pistol, the money is all sorts of whack. That operator I talked about in Fluorescent's hands, it's delayed. It's going to be majorly delayed. Only with half armor now. At least, though, this is where Shopify, on paper, should be able to stop the bleeding, with or without an operator.
Yeah, and with that Prime giving flawless for G2, it's going to be a very comfortable bonus round that they're pulling into this one, too. Within the next, if they lose this one here, the money is going to be really good to buy weapons against the rifles that Shopify Rebellion should have. But we'll get there when we get there. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. It starts off with G2. 4 players on the mid-control. Roxy pushing up towards the elbow. And 1 playing towards the top of the nest. It is Sarah. Already used some utility. Don't have too much left to try to get info on middle.
Yeah, and you saw Floor started off at mid, but was bullied off the angle, now repositioning towards this B. And she's just hoping that G2 rendezvous and regroup and re-hit towards back this B, but G2 are feeling comfortable. They have a lot of control.
That definitely could be an idea.
The ping's coming out for Nest here.
So trying to inch towards that. Keep Noya in the corner towards that ladder, and jumping up is Sarah too, trying to take the control, just trying to fight against that Cypher towards that B site. But nonetheless, if this forces the push out towards B main, Fluorescent's there, but instead, G2 are moving towards A.
Good response, good utility coming out here for Alexis, trying to buy time, trying to create some kills for Mel.
That's double flashes, and it works out for 2 kills from Mel. Alexis there for the support right after. The high-low and the top of that, a crossfire is good. Now the rotate comes across for Shopify. Roxy and Mimi pushing up towards the bridge. But the cavalry was already rotated across from that B towards the A site. Mimi stuck in a clutch situation only with the Guardian. Hit by a camera, forced to break it, allowing Noya to just push through and get the easy kill. And that was a great hold that we just saw there on the A site.
Beautiful, beautiful ping-ponging coming out here from Mel and Alexis. Alexis knew that the jig was up. She knew they saw where that molly came from, so she just wanted to be a distraction, and that completely teased everything up for Mel, and that's the beauty of teamwork for sure. And I even like that retake protocol coming out here for Shopify. Noya never opened her cam. You know, Noya's body was towards that B, but she left her cam back at that Crab's pillar. And as that spike is getting planted, that's when she pops it. Clever stuff, and that's exactly what you need if you're Shopify. You've got a lot of rounds to build up back into the second half.
We just mentioned that Prime Gaming flawless, so the money was still really good for G2 from their bonus, allowing a knock to come out early this time around, and I don't think Shopify were ready for that. Fluorescent falls right away, a flash to allow Mel to peek out. Petra wasn't affected by it, but their shot still missed. Now a snakebite forces her to push forward. Sarah's now getting lurked by Roxy. Alexis trying to trade it off, and it works out at least. But it opens up now the A site. They've pulled everybody from the outside site to middle, and an opportunity for them to push out towards this A main.
Yeah, and even though that Cypher ultimate comes up, as it does, Sarah's going to drop her Viper's wall. It's going to allow G2 to safely cross, because it's just Mel here. No flashes, and she's blind.
Flashes came out right after, at least for the attack. That was Mimi throwing that through. Mel looks like she was expecting for that wall to stay up the whole time and instantly got caught off. Shopify still want to try to go for this. Alexis and Noya, the last 2 remaining, trying to push forward. Not making any noise here for G2. Mimi's hearing a bit. Al Jones coming on the attack to support. And while Alexis was looking towards the air to try to break the drone, Mimi swings out for the kill. Noya, now the last player remaining. The off peeks out, it misses. But it gives an opportunity for the wraparound out from Mimi. But Noya's ready for it, but couldn't win that duel. And G2 are showing a very one-sided map to start things off on Breeze.
They are, they really are, but Shopify are kind of playing G2's game as well. You know, how many times we talked about Fluorescent not finding those openings, but Petra, because she's on the defense, finding those openings, but she swapped sides, and again, it's Petra finding another opening. And this time it's on the back of Fluorescent, but that was just an easy frag that she gave up to Petra. Just wide swinging mid, no flashes, no nothing, no utility. And Petra will take those all day. You know, that's exactly what she's hoping for. So for Shopify side, you know, we need to see a little bit more of those layers that we've been seeing this whole week.
That's right. And right now, for the second time out, the last remaining for Shopify Rebellion, there's definitely no thumbs up coming out from Mephies. It's time for them to work things out again, where he's calling these timeouts where the economy is not always the best for Shopify. So maybe all the eggs in the basket on some sort of a forced buy, or if not, trying to figure out if you lose this forced buy, what could be the plan to try to fight back within the next. And it seems to be probably the first option.
Yeah.
What can you do here, now knowing how G2's been taking his mid-control?
Yeah, it has to be the first round, or rather your first option that you gave, right? You're down too many rounds, and you've got to start inching forward on that comeback right now in this next one. So expect a full investment coming into this. Not close to any ultimates, and I mean, Petra, she's gonna maintain and hold on to that operator, because why not? She's got the knives. She's been finding openings every single round. And this time she's gonna do that anti-eco, sticking and trying to find a pick on a lazy rotator towards that B site.
Looks like there's a little bit of last-second pivot coming out from Shopify Rebellion. The idea looked like they were going to stack towards this B site with this force spy that they have, but it goes back to a default position. And same thing for G2. It's default, starting things off with 3 players looking out from cannon towards the front B main or a push towards elbow, or they're just hoping to see a peek coming out from Shopify Rebellion that Petra could punish from the window.
Alexis just waiting for a sound cue to try to not allow Glance any space with that drone. Just wants to have a response.
Yeah,
I think Shopify, you know what, fans? I think if they were to come A, Shopify would just full on fight as they came out. But unlucky for Shopify, strong side is A, but most of the members, all of the members of G2 are planning their B exec here.
Yeah, it looked like they were just trying to get a play off the camera.
Yeah.
But from this B site, what do you really have? It's Fluorescent with a Vandal. Some trap kills being set up, at least from Noyo on the other end, in case Mimi wants to pick up an orb and go for the ult. But instead it's Petra that initiates the entry at 1 HP remaining. Fluorescent holding towards the back of the site. Nice shot from Sarah come through. The wall bank does not connect from Fluorescent, but does get that second one though onto Sarah too. Mimi pushing towards the back of the site, but Fluorescent still holds the angle towards the ladder. And what a hold from Fluorescent, allowing to rotate to come back from Shopify Rebellion, leaving Roxy alone, picking up the op. And here we're about to see potentially a 2-1 swing or a contact out from Fluorescent once again. But that spike is down with 20 seconds left, out in the open for Shopify to cover it, up towards that ladder. And you can see now with the time dwindling down, they want to save the op.
Yeah, smart call for Roxy, especially with how successful Petra has been with it. A weird entry pathing, I gotta say, for G2. I'm not sure if Petra mistimed that or if she wanted to updraft first, then dash, but you saw that she dashed, then updrafted, and there was no smoke, and that flash didn't help her, and that was just a free kill for Fluorescent. So a bit of a luck for SR side, at least, that G2 fumbled, and a round just kind of falls into Shopify's lap here, but hey, you can't be perfect, and if you want to start mounting that comeback, you take those if you're Shopify.
We'll definitely take those. But it's not over yet for the amount of pressure that they're going to get Shopify Rebellion this time around against G2. We got 4 ults available now for the attacking side of G2. The op's still out for Petra, who's looking to look for that mid-control pick. Knife being thrown out to find information, and with that orb being thrown towards the door, this is G2 looking for control towards middle. SR doing the same thing, though.
Yeah, you know, I like it. They didn't get spotted at all the last time around, and it seems to be some sort of weird, funky trap play that they have and have confidence on. So just barely spotted.
Fluorescent once again jiggling out towards the tunnel. Does get the contact onto one player and just wants to fall back and watch the main, while the responsibility is now going to be on Sarah by Berlin.
Yeah, G2 are doing such a good job with this misdirection. Just showing a body in mid and keeping Shopify guessing. Did anyone cross? Did anyone not?
The same setup is to try to counter once again that null command that's now available for Mimi.
Look at Roxy.
Aldron's looking through, and Roxy's pushed up all the way towards Berlin, catches Sarah off guard, and throws a null command, and no time he comes out from Fluorescent. Now just swings out towards the ladder, but Sarah's there for the pick. Roxy's still holding it out, finally gets pinged out and shot by Alexis through the cage. Close range there with the shorty. Noy gets picked off the rotate from Petra. And things are looking good for G2 on the pulse line, even a setup for a Honda's Fury if they wanted to. Actually, Glance is just holding towards the pillar. She already has players around her to watch a crossfire, watch any type of pushes out from Shopify. It's gonna get difficult here once again. Alexis meeting up with Mel, both of them by the tunnel. Glance still holding the angle by the pillar. A shot miss, but that's a perfect bait here for Glance, who doesn't get the kill onto Mel though. Underhand flash now being thrown, wasted down the clock. Alexis still has a full kit. I'll continue on that KO. But unfortunately couldn't use any of it. Petra is waiting there with the op shot. Mel answers right back. Nice flick there onto Mimi, but there's no time left. Sarah has the distance. She's not going to be able to pick up the op either from Fluorescent within the next round. And G2 is going to be a map point on the first series.
What a round coming out here for G2. I mean, the whole time, the way they were dissecting this map, I was paranoid and I see the whole mini-map, right? So it's just the fact that Roxy was able to just rat her way past this half wall, somehow, some way make it and find an opening without getting spotted. That is tough if you're Shopify, but the moves coming out here for G2, and you know, that wasn't all just Roxy, right? You saw the drone coming out of B main. The rest of G2 are really trying to get that aggro onto themselves to allow those gaps for Roxy, so great plays coming out here for G2. And another kind of broken buy for Shopify, which has kind of been the story of their defense half so far.
Oh, the Aldrone Resident was trying to get the timing out, also with a flash assist from Alexis, but Mimi was right there. And they were playing so close that Fluorescent wasn't ready. Never affected by the flash were the players out from G2 as they pull up early here in the potentially the last round of this map.
Yeah, and you can see how committed Alexis is to this play. It's because the Viper's pit, she's trusting that Mel's going to be able to hold down the fort over towards that B. Got a flash in hand, so this is where Shopify make their stand. Alexis cannot let it be known that she's there in this spot.
They'll have to come down to the players in the back of the site to try to break that recon guard. The flash blinds Alexis. Hunter's Furies coming out from Glance, does get the ping onto Sarah, but does not get the connection onto Mimi. As you talk about Alexis' position, unfortunately couldn't get the pickup, so she gets dropped. The rotate coming out, the lurk for Proxy, a 1v1 in that area, but we're still holding our ground on the A site for Shopify Rebellion. Petra back with a Blade Storm to answer onto 2 of her own.
30 seconds
It's
left.
up to the IGL of Shopify Rebellion to try to clutch a 3 versus 1. Trying to get a spot on the top of that wall. Unfortunately, couldn't see anybody. Petra's just holding the angle, looking at the doorway. As soon as she walks up here, especially with the wall just being thrown, the jig is really up here. And Petra, all she has to do is to wait for Mel to pop up. As she walks up, the up shot misses. An opportunity to capitalize on a couple of kills. Trying to look back to see if Petra's going to re-swing on the other angle. But she does it instead, and G2, a dominant first map in their favor as they take it 13-6 on Breeze.
Dominant indeed. And you know, we saw a little bit of everything in this first map. Just like in this last round, as Mel is inching forward towards mid, Glance could have absolutely wiped her out, but she falls back, right? And that's kind of the difference that I'm seeing in this first map, at least, that G2 are not giving Shopify those duels. They are not giving them the kind of frags they want. They're falling back and they're using each other.
And G2 definitely showing that they're cooking stuff up here, that they cook stuff up on Breeze. Let's see if they can versus Shopify on Ascent, and that's coming up after the break.